The woman finally found a water source in the desert. So after letting the donkey feast, he built 10 mansions on the spot under the giant rock. There's homemade wild cement on the exterior wall that can accommodate a family of 8. The surface is also embedded with crushed stones that blend seamlessly with the surrounding area. And the giant rock in front of us is just enough to protect a family. After the man unloaded all his belongings from the gong, place your family under the giant rock. I cultivate under the shade of trees nearby. The sensible eldest son also began to lend a hand to his father. A flat mountain road can provide some safety for children in a crib. After everything is arranged properly, the man begins to work with peace of mind. AK first took a tall and straight piece of wood, placed between the giant rock and the ground, standing tall and upright, as the foundation pillar and construction framework supporting the giant rock. And in order to reinforce the bottom, it is necessary to dig a pit at the bottom. Fix wood by backfilling with mud and sand. With the help of a virtuous wife, 6 pillars are arranged in an orderly manner at intervals under the giant rock. The wife was on the side making a fire to keep the children warm. I also boiled hot water to quench the thirst of the family. The vast desert is the best amusement park for children, being able to run freely on a hillside. At this point, AK has also completed all the pillars. The entire food framework is already in shape. My wife will give everyone the freshly brewed black tea to taste. After a brief rest, the man leveled the ground, then filled the gaps between the pillars with randomly picked stones. Next, all we need to do is continuously raise the stone wall. They can build their own food villas. Ak poured out some mountain spring water that he had treasured for many years, mixing fine and soft sediment on the ground. Just mix and shake easily. You can obtain homemade wild cement. Can be applied on top of stone walls and stones. The pillars above can also be reinforced with this type of cement. As the saying goes, if the land is not solid, the earth will move and the mountains will shake. The food beneath the giant rock requires even more thought and effort. Otherwise, it's very likely that you won't wake up after waking up. The man pulled the whole family to move nearby stones together. After all, with a large number of people and great strength, one can quickly obtain the resources they need. And I want to live more comfortably. The slopes under the giant rock can be further processed. Let the living space continue to expand. Then start building the fence layer by layer with stones and layer by layer with cement. Thanks to the efforts of the family, the stone wall quickly became taller. However, in order to facilitate entry and exit, a door for entry and exit has been reserved in the middle. A family of 4 not only eats and drinks but also builds. Quickly gained a half-human high wall. This is a test of 2 sets of their own goats' housing habits. However, the space on both sides of the giant rock is very narrow. I chose larger stones and filled them directly as stone walls, although the construction of the stone house may seem dull. But thinking that a family can have their own home. I don't want my family to continue living in the wind and logic. However, we still need to continue working hard to complete the stone house. The construction of the stone wall has reached its peak these days. To observe the outdoor environment indoor, and specially left space for the window, and the flat ground under the shade of trees is now the living place of the family. We even specially built thatched roofs to shield the hunters, due to the highly attractive villas under the stone houses. The family members have also expanded from 4 to 8. Each department has its own responsibilities and clear division of labor, resulting in extremely high efficiency. At this point, the man has already started installing the door and window frames. The layout of doors and windows also emphasizes center symmetry height. Fix the wooden frame with wire binding. My wife also roasted their own goats into meat skewers. Let the whole family maintain a meal together. The construction of the windows use roadside tires. The design of the outer inner garden enhances the sense of window design. Next, you can apply homemade cement to the wall surface. Connect the walls constructed with stones as a whole. Although this job may not look clean, at the same time, a large amount of homemade cement is required. The eldest son has already learned many of his father's skills. Select fine sand through a sieve. It can be mixed with mountain spring water to produce high-quality wild cement. And under the scorching sun, cement also dries quickly, just in time to stick the prepared gravel onto the cement surface. At the same time, it is more aesthetically pleasing and prevents explosions. Even when faced with missiles, one can face them calmly. The reserve tire windows are very eye-catching. It also improves the indoor lighting performance. The man's skilled operation quickly completed the construction of a stone wall. Even children learn with style and style. Nomadic culture is passed down in every move. If you pass by and see a house with a huge rock above your head, just as the man was perfecting the left wall, my wife hung a big belt on a nearby tree. It has become the swing that children love to play on the most. But this is also the happiest time for children. At the same time, there is also shomaju guarding the house for the family. After a day of work, I also had Iranian specialty food, stir-fried noodles. The The rare and delicious taste makes children wish they could lick the pot clean. After eating and drinking, the father and son quicken their pace. The entire exterior wall is also nearing completion. Next, just wait quietly for it to dry. You can obtain sturdy and durable food. To celebrate the completion of the food, after completing the construction of doors and windows in the home, the side is also processed in the same way. However, in order to expand the living space of the family, shovel off the sand and stones on the side. A massive boulder weighing over 100 pounds requires a family to work together to transport, and the originally sloping slope now has an extra open space. Even my son is learning to start clearing the ground, make the muddy ground waiting for construction smoother. The man unexpectedly discovered an ancient tree root, trapped underground and difficult to eradicate. I have to take it to burn firewood later. Many stones were cleared and piled up against the wall. There is also an open space next to the cabin of the giant rock where you can rest. You can let children dance to their heart's content. And the reunion of a family of 8 instantly dissipated the exhaustion of a day's work. Sitting on the ground, making tea and eating stir-fried noodles. And there are also pure natural homemade lamb skewers. The man couldn't help but sigh that this life was too bleak. Mother takes child out to search for water source, holding a little donkey and constantly searching. Finally, I saw a small puddle in the desert. There's still a lot of stagnant water that can be consumed. The joyful mother stored the clean surface water in a bucket. Can be used as domestic water for a family for half a month. Let the little donkey also have a hearty meal. Then let the donkey carry the fully loaded water tank home. Passed by a small hut built by other nomads. However, due to the passage of time, it has already collapsed. Upon returning home, the man had already sealed the stone house with stones. Be strict and not give the thief any chance. And the collected mountain springs can be used for synthesizing cement. Can be used to construct the exterior walls of the entire stone house. Clean up the messy floor and gravel in the house. Simultaneously apply cement to the inner wall surface. The overall space is also sufficient to accommodate a family of 8. The child sleeps directly on the ground. The sand in the room can be removed through the window. The entire dining room appears very well concealed from the outside. After these days of construction and scorching sunbaking, you can comfortably stay indoors and drink tea. My mother opened a watermelon that can only be eaten during the Chinese New Year. Let's celebrate the new house. The man found no support under the boulder on the left side. Once he is exposed, the consequences will be unimaginable. So we started to gnaw on the mud and sand below to build support, and at the same time, cautiously chisel walls inside. Remove sediment and rocks to gain more living space. To separate the bedroom on the left side, built a stone wall inside with the help of giant stones, and continue to apply homemade wild cement at home. Transform the walls and floors to make them smoother and neater. Even a 5-year-old boy in the family. I am already able to paint the wall clean and tidy. I've shared a lot of dirty and tiring work for my parents, even in rudimentary food. Even just drinking tea can feel very happy. The child also felt filial piety towards the artwork in front of him. After cleaning the food thoroughly, spacious space makes children so happy that they can fly up. The distance to the villa is getting closer and closer. We also need to install an anti-theft door. The man sawed off the wood he picked up casually. Use an iron chisel to cut half of the wood as the frame for the gate. Complete the 4 wooden frames on the top, bottom, left, and right sides in this way. The steps on the ground below are made of natural wild stones. But the man's years of nomadic experience are so precise in controlling long steps that he can understand you. Next, we can use large wooden boards as door panels. Transform the connected wooden frames into wooden flute nails. It can be inserted and fixed in the bottom frame. A wealthy family with double doors is not yet one. Who sees who is confused. And to prevent thieves from exploiting loopholes, some naturally formed loopholes and gaps, you can fill it with the remaining homemade wild cement from before. The entire double door ceremony is filled with a sense of ceremony. And while waiting for the cement to dry, the child also transformed the slope in front of their house into a slide, as an activity venue for one's own amusement park. In order to provide better delicious food for family and newborn babies, men start building open kitchens next to food. After enclosing the bricks into a semicircular shape, directly apply cement to form a small stove. Then the man used an iron hoe to carve holes in the circular iron plate. It can be used as a baking board and placed on the stove, but we still need to go to the wilderness to pick up some stones. Continue to build the 2nd and 3rd floors above the iron plate. Add a few more iron rings to the top. We now have a multifunctional small oven, whether it's grilling sheep or making baked goods. The outdoor kitchen can also be used as a baby cabin. The new room made the whole family happy to the point of flying. I also have more hope for my future life. A man actually made his own multifunctional oven. However, considering the rampant crackdown, to protect food, a roof needs to be built above the kitchen. At this moment, the wife supported herself with a crossbeam above the slope and pillars. The other side is also fixed to the boulder with wire. The formed framework can cover the trunk of the leaves. As an original natural thatched roof, whether it's sun shading performance or aesthetics, it can directly elevate several levels, considering the treatment of kitchen fume. Just casually pulled out an ancestral curtain. It's the most comfortable place for children to live. Then go collect some sand and gravel nearby. Pour in very precious mineral water. Wild homemade cement mixed together. Although this job may seem a bit dirty, and the multifunctional oven previously built, it can also serve as a place for family reunion and warmth. At the connection depression between the wall and the boulder, I also made a storage cabinet with a strong sense of design. The overall kitchen is fully functional. A family sits around the ancestral carpet. It's the happiest time of the day. You can also play at the Slope amusement park behind the mountain. Seemingly dangerous actions have become less safe, but the child will also help collect some tree branches as a cooking material for the daily life of a family. This life is not so happy that it flies, and the freshly eaten watermelon can still be used to feed the donkey. Spoiled ponies sometimes get angry and don't want to work. Running in front of me, I discovered a water source. Can gather the traveling horses for a satisfying meal. Even a family can wash their bodies. Store it in a water storage tank again. Convenient for future use in daily life and construction. After eating and drinking enough, one can continue on their journey. I have also accumulated a lot of materials for daily life. The man plans to continue building living facilities when he returns home. After creating an open space next to the kitchen, stack the stones onto the platform. Then apply universal cement. The originally uneven tabletop has become very smooth. Cover the area with a layer of stones and continue to apply. A wash basin is complete. Next, simply connect to the water source and faucet. The child couldn't help but shake up. And a stove was also made inside the dining room. Can make oil with specialty small baked cakes. The interior decoration plans to renovate the windows. To avoid excessive heat from the scorching sun, I also put decoratives on the outside of the food house. The steps leading to the doorstep have also been redesigned. Fill up the sense of ceremony when entering the home directly. A family of 8 in this class of food house.